Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Saturday to you and your family, whomever you spend your time with. I hope you're having a good one. So we're going to take a look here at Algorand. I got a lot of requests for this one, and it's pretty obvious in the sense of the fact that most coins are not performing as well as this one is, and it's definitely a good coin to kind of keep an eye on and see if it can continue. Now, if you're new to the channel, I am not a financial advisor. I do just love teaching people how to trade. I hope you can learn something here today. And CryptoCache.tech is a site if you want to become a better trader. I teach you how to become, well, a little bit more self-sufficient, you could say. I've got Trading Academy, Trading Community, and Signal Group. I send out signals for every single trade that I take too, so you learn how to structure your trades. And that's probably one of the most important and fundamental things about being a good trader, is setting up the right trade instead of just jumping in when you feel like it. All right, we got to wait for confirmation. Hopefully we can find some of that here. So taking a look at Algorand, here's the big picture on the daily. That's something I like to see here so far. We're peaking above 50 on the RSI. So granted, we get a one-day candlestick close today at or above the current price point. We should be back up above that key level resistance. That could be a really important thing. We also can kind of see here that there was somewhat of a resistance as well. If I remove the moving averages, you can kind of see that right here, there's a lot, the price spent a lot of time here at about 71 cents. So a close today above that is extremely important because we are essentially making higher highs, all right? So it's really important to be able to have that established to allow for us to understand that this should be the new support level right at around 72 cents, okay? So 71, 72 should be the new support level. Granted, we get a one-day candlestick close above or at where we're at presently. Now moving on to the moving averages, we can see we're back up above the 20 but under the 50. 50 is notorious for working as a resistance level, so we could see some turbulence at 76 cents, but for now we don't need to worry about the 200. Then of course if we see the MACD here, pretty big, no surprise, pretty obvious stark indicator here letting us know that the bulls have taken control of the last week of trading. So it's pretty obvious in that sense. So mostly good stuff on the daily, and to me, extracting information on each time frame is important. And if you have a good macro, then sometimes the micro doesn't matter too much. But we still want to look at the 4 hour and the 1 hour to identify any potential transitions into that macro movement. Right? That's kind of how that works. So look at the 4 hour here. Here's something fantastic. Not a lot of coins can say this. We're above all moving averages here on the 4 hour. Extremely important to have that, and I love to see that is working concurrently with an ascending type of price. Now, you could argue that this price isn't ascending because we had this correction here, but this was a pretty strong red day for Bitcoin, whereas Algorand recovered very quick, okay? So we're talking 24 hours to 48 hours later, it was at or above its previous price. And once again, you look at that and you compare that with other coins, that's non-existent, all right? Taking a look down here as well, we can kind of see, of course, with the resistance on the RSI at 70, we haven't quite got there yet. So we're still trending nice, we're still trending positively. There's no real, we basically have more range of motion, and it's a good sign here in that sense. If we take a look at TD sequential 2, we're at a 9 though. This is the only, I guess you could say, drawback of the potential pullback, if you will, is the fact that we have a 9 here on TD sequential, and we need to get some kind of consolidation sideways before the next leg up, or possibly come down to bounce off this Fibonacci retracement of 71 cents and continue higher. Either way, we are making higher lows on the 4 hour and higher highs as well. And it's extremely important to continue the progression. But again, this needs to correct itself because we can't go, 36 to 40 hours with no downside. Granted, there are some little areas here, but we didn't get a full-on reset. So this is a fairly healthy staircase pattern. These are the patterns that I like to look for to tell you that we're more likely to go up than down on this coin. Okay? So the TA on Algorand is looking pretty good here. I would speculate that 71 cents should be the lowest point unless we see a retest at 35,000 or lower from Bitcoin. Because again, Bitcoin retests, Algorand will likely do the same thing as well, because we saw what happened when we got a significant correction from Bitcoin. Again, we're overextended on Bitcoin right now. The likelihood of a downside, a strong downside right now, is pretty low. That being said, Algorand, the likelihood of a sideways and or continuation upside is also very high. Okay, so again, doing some pretty good stuff here. I like what I see here so far. Last thing we want to look for is confirmation, which we should be able to find. We're well above the cloud here, and that's concurrent with the MACD convergence in the 4-hour, but also just a simple fact that the lagging span is free and clear of price action. We've got the conversion line above the baseline, and obviously we're well above both leads on the actual cloud itself. So really just all green lights here for a long position, or just specifically keeping your long position open. Taking a position is perfectly fine as well. We've already identified we got a very healthy continuation here. The only thing that we might experience is once again a pullback because we are overextended on the 4-hour. But again, we've got a nice healthy correction here to allow for this leg up here to be stronger. Now, even though we hit a 9 recently, we could very well see further continuation of the upside. So again, I think the likelihood of it going up is higher than it would going down. We just need to understand that we're at a 9 here on the 1 hour and a 9 on the 4-hour, so a pullback is almost guaranteed, right? It may not be a super strong pullback though. That's what we just gotta understand, and it's looking pretty darn good here. There's really no downside essentially for this coin. Once again, just a bit on the overextended side here. So I would expect some kind of a pullback, and then of course, good strategy if you're kind of trying to get in is to just take a smaller position, maybe 50% or lower, and then maybe add to your position when the price comes back down to 71. Right, well, you get some skin in the game in case the price were to continue higher, but you also get the opportunity to be able to take some profits, without missing your opportunity, because waiting for 71 cents may not happen. You never truly know. So I just have two entry targets, 74 and maybe just say 71. And if you get filled on both, great. Once again, the likelihood of it continuing up from here is pretty high. Algorand is looking very good. And again, you got to understand in the big picture, it's pretty low in the general sense of things. And it's hanging out in its price action really close to its previous low here as well from last summer. And last summer, Bitcoin was trading at 30,000, right? We're at about 35 right now for Bitcoin. We're at the same price action. That's a very, very good sign. Really tells us there's more value now than there was before, right? So all in all, a lot of positivity here. This has my blessing, so to speak, as one of my members had asked for. So again, looking good here in that sense. Just keep in mind it is overextended. A pullback would probably happen, and we want to kind of pay attention to that. So I'm going to set my alerts here for like maybe 73 cents, so we can go ahead and take a look at it in case it comes back, and perhaps add to our position. But again, looking all good here in that sense. So I hope you learned something here today, of course. Once again, you want to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech is the site. Link in the description below. I look forward to working with you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for your time.